All right, everybody, welcome back to Celebrity Court. Let's see who's joining us tonight. Alfred Sings, Ed L. Reynolds. I hope Shatan Turner is here. Yes, she is. Believe it or not, she decided to come back to work after multiple vacations. Lathea Robinson Smith. Good evening, Lathea. Colette Davis. Hey, SL. Welcome back. Danielle Cameron, you made it. Hey, everyone. Deliria Washington. Great to see you back. Essie Stone. Always awesome to see your name in the chat. Tasia Davis. To Shay. Gotcha. Thank you, Tashay. Tashay, welcome back. Ready for another great show. All right, who else? JP Mills. JP Mills, I'm getting so used to seeing your name on here. Welcome back. Thank you for supporting us. Mary, what's going on? To say Davis, let's see, Sandra McGee. Sandra McGee, welcome back. Avis Ward, good evening. Who else we got? That's it. All right, everybody. Tonight's show, Fame on Trial, from Cardi B to cowboy boots. All right, order in the court. Tonight, this isn't your regular courtroom. This is where celebrity scandal meets hard legal truth and where culture sometimes and clearly will tonight collides with court filings and where some of your favorite, like Cardi B, may just be guilty in the court of public opinion. We're going to unpack it right here tonight. There are 4 explosive cases. We have Cardi B is accused of attacking a security guard at a doctor's office. Tariq Hill, the super rich young professional athlete, Tariq Hill in the NFL, whose marriage lasted less than a TikTok trend, but could cost him millions, look like. Apollonia, who we all know, is taking on Prince's estate to keep her name alive. And yep, we all saw it unravel on the streets of Los Angeles. Lil Nas X trading in the red carpet for a mugshot after a very public meltdown on Ventura Boulevard. This isn't TMZ, but this is testimony. We don't cancel in this court, but we definitely going to cross-examine. So get ready to drop your comments down in the comments. Be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that follow button. If you're already followed, don't forget to turn on your notifications and share. And last but not least, don't forget to come in those comments because we love it. Joining us tonight, we have a full house of our attorneys. First up, joining us, we have, the lovely entertainment attorney, Ashley Carter. Ashley Carter, welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Hi, everybody. Happy to be back. Happy to be back.
She made it.
I made it. Look, today's Women's Equity Day. Okay, it's a lot on women today. Okay.
All right. Joining her is our fiery civil attorney, Shatan Turner. Shatan, come on back to Celebrity Court.
Oh, hey, Your Honor. Yeah, I was getting ready. You know, I stay on vacation, so.
Right. You stay on vacation, but today you were taking your kids the first day of class?
Yes, 2 of my kids, their first day of school was today. They started 2nd grade and 6th grade, and it was a great day.
Excellent. All right, joining these 2 beautiful women, we have the one and only author of Shit They Never Taught You in Law School, Jason Weiss. Welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Thank you, Your Honor. Excited to be here, and let's get going. We got lots of stories.
We sure do. And rounding it off is that humorous at law, the one, the only, Sean Carter. Welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Happy to be here. Let's go.
All right. Also, Brian and Simone Adams. I hope I said that right. Simone Adams. What's going on, Brian and Simone? Hey, Al, we're dedicated fans. Don't forget us on your returning announcement. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. KS, thank you for joining us tonight. The Linda one, I'm living for the first time. I'm live for the first time. Welcome, Linda. You're in for a treat tonight because they are ready. Christy Terrell, welcome. I hope our humorous at law and family are safe after dust storm and monsoon. Monsoon. Al Rice, Ruth Quotient, welcome to Celebrity Court. Christine R. Jason, get your girl. LBF, welcome back. Everybody, welcome back. I'm so excited to see everybody, excited to see us returning back to this Tuesday evening. All right, here we go, everybody. First up, Cardi B has battled everyone from the charge to the courthouse, but this time it's a security guard that's filing suit. Imani Ellis claims Cardi assaulted her at an OBGYN appointment back in 2018. Ellis says Cardi spit on her, ordered staff to restrain her, hurled racial slurs, and even tried to erase video evidence. Cardi says none of it ever happened. Now, this case raises major issues: credibility versus celebrity. It's a civil trial, so Ellis doesn't need proof beyond, quote, a reasonable doubt. All she needs is just a preponderance of evidence. If Cardi B is found liable, the damages could be steep, including medical costs, lost earnings, punitive damages, plus a civil penalty. Bailiff, take it away.
We're at the building and Cardi B exited the elevator on February 24th, 2018. What were the words that she used that were so hurtful?
She used a lot of words, and again, excuse my language, but she was like, bitch, that's why I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna get you fired. That's why you do security. Ah, that's why you do security. Ah, she was sticking her tongue out. She was flailing her arms up and down. She was jumping up and down. Body shaming me. I mean, racial slurs, just a lot.
And did she spit on you?
She did.
Did her spit actually land on your body?
It did.
Why did you exit the elevator to speak with her after she said what she said?
I wanted to.
When you were at the building,
Ah, she was sticking her tongue out. She was flailing her arms up and down. She was jumping up and down.
All right, let's get it going. All right, let's go to our entertainment attorney first. Ashley, how do courts weigh credibility when it's one person's word against a celebrity?
Well, really, celebrity status is not supposed to give you any real extra credibility versus, a non-celebrity. I think in this particular situation, it was probably, she definitely looks like Jim Carrey there. I'm looking at the photo, not trying to laugh. She put on her serious wig because she wants the court to take her seriously today. And not see her as a frivolous entertainer. That's what that wig means, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But back to just one being believed over the other. I actually feel like your celebrity actually ends up hurting you in this situation because they're actually going to probably give the non-celebrity more benefit of the doubt. Also, this was done in a public building, an OBGYN office. I can guarantee you there are witnesses to corroborate what that security guard is saying. So it's truly not what the security guard says against Cardi B. There were other people that can probably corroborate facts on both sides.
All right, let's go to you, Attorney Carter. Attorney Carter, if she in fact did order video evidence destroyed, how does that impact her defense?
That's going to be a problem. Now, let's be clear. What happens is that the first question you have to ask is, where's the video? We got video everywhere. There's no video. And the plaintiff here is claiming that, that's because Cardi went to them and said, hey, get rid of the video. And sure enough, there's no video. And so her accusation is that, Cardi had, now if it's proven or, somebody comes up and says, oh yeah, Cardi gave me a big bag of money to get rid of the video, then that's going to be counted against Cardi B, because obviously the party that wants to hide the evidence is going to be presumed to be the people who are guilty.
Okay, Attorney Turner, let me ask you this. If she is in fact found guilty of getting rid of the video, do you think that the punitive damages could be higher?
Potentially. Punitive damages are designed to punish. And so if the court finds that Cardi B engaged in some unlawful behavior or destroyed evidence, there would be a penalty for it. But I think we shouldn't rush to judgment on that point because Cardi didn't have the video. The building had the video. And so the argument is that Cardi asked for it to be destroyed and then they destroyed it. So I think we'd need more details to find out where this all played out and who actually made the decision to destroy the video.
All right, so Jason, let's round it off with you. If she asked for the video to be destroyed and they destroyed it because it's Cardi B, obviously, right? Because she's this big celebrity, they really don't want her talking bad about their practice. They could lose patients. If that's the case, who's liable, Cardi or the person who destroyed the video?
So they're both going to be liable under a theory called spoliation of evidence. And the spoliation of evidence is that once you know that it's needed and once you know that it could be part of a lawsuit, you must retain it, you must keep it, you must protect it, you must not allow anything to happen. So this is a spoliation of evidence. That's going to have nothing to do with the charges and the lawsuit against it. That's going to be its own separate count. And chances are the judge will go ahead and put punitive damages against both Cardi B for asking and for the security company or the building company for actually listening to her and destroying it. So now they have liability as well.
Interesting. So let's go to you, Attorney Carter, because I know you have the details on this case. What supposedly provoked this showdown between the two where Cardi spit on her?
I think he's asking you.
Sean Carter. Sorry.
Yeah. So my understanding is that it's hard to know. Cardi B says that she goes in there, minding her own business, and this woman is taping her, recording her for the gram or whatever, and she doesn't want that. She's in there 4 months pregnant and doesn't want people all up in her business because she wanted to go on the gram and show her baby bump. And so she ends up yelling at the woman. And then, here's the thing of this. I don't know if she did or not, but could you not hear her say every damn word that woman said she said? I could even hear it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I could literally hear it as she was saying it. Judge Al, I'm surprised you didn't ask why they were not criminal charges. Because I would civilly sue her, but I would get a police report, and I also would have went after this criminally. It's interesting that this woman who was verbally, assaulted with spit would not also go to the police. I find that interesting.
I think what I think is interesting. What I think is interesting. I think she probably was too scared.
Maybe
for her to be filming, she's probably a fan, right? And so I'm just like, if she's a fan, it's Cardi B. Cardi B has her followers that will make your life HELL if you mess with her, just like Nicki's fans, just like a lot of these celebrity fans, just like the Beehive. So I'm wondering, and the question is, that's actually a good question. If she had the right to file criminally, why didn't the civil attorney bring that to her attention? Attorney Turner, what were you saying?
Well, one, I think that we have to remember that Cardi B had her right to privacy in her medical office. And so in her visit, in that regard, I think that my inclination is to believe that the security guard did something to escalate it, and she's not being completely 100. But what I was going to say in terms of what Attorney Carter indicated is I actually think the fact that there's no criminal charge may be helpful into whatever happened to this video, because if it took this person a bit of time to file and there wasn't any notice of preservation on Cardi or on the building, they may be able to overcome the spoliation argument, because it becomes a question of, should you have known that this would have been relevant to a potential claim? And I imagine the building is going to say no, that we destroyed it because we don't keep records of celebrities in our offices to try to preserve privacy.
So you think it'll help that exposure? That's
what I would say. I think it's not necessarily the slam dunk. Whether they'll be persuasive, I think Attorney Weiss has some arguments that would be persuasive. But if I were representing the building, I would go there.
Well, all right, to see it.
So the only issue,
Jason, hold on one second. I'm coming to you next. Tasia Davis asked a good question. Is this a case where she can ask what took so long, 2018? I wonder why this is coming to the forefront now. All right, Jason, go ahead.
So the only thing I was going to say to add to what Attorney Turner said was the fact that the building's not going to go ahead and erase it because it was a public figure or anything like that. The building can say, look, we record things and it's on a constant loop, or our normal procedure is we erase it 5 days. But if Cardi B comes and she says, oh yeah, there was this incident and I want that tape removed, I don't care if there was never a lawsuit or anything. You have a spoliation problem and there's going to be an issue there.
I can imagine the way she talked to that lady, that she asked for that. She went to them and told them that you guys better not, y'all better hide that video or throw that video away.
Yep. And look, if Cardi B, we all love you on this show. So, you know, we think whatever you do is right. Because we don't want her coming after us.
What? What in the world? Olga, good evening, everyone. Olga, welcome to the show. Miss Dogan, hey, Algoriters, hey. Welcome to the show. Who else we got joining us later? Vepapar, welcome to the show. Just V, welcome to the show. Who else is joining us after LVF? Welcome to the show. All right, let's go to you, Algoriters, and see what your thoughts are. Do you believe celebrities are more likely to cover up bad behavior or more likely to be falsely accused or money grab? All right, guys, do you believe celebrities are more likely to cover up bad behavior or more likely to be falsely accused because they are looking for a money grab from the celebrity? All right. Drop down in the chat. Yes, sir.
While the audience is voting here, do you want to give Cardi B her chance to tell her side of the story? She did testify today in a completely different wig. And I want to see what that wig is looking like. And by the way, let me just give the outrageous little hint. If you want to, if it's a credibility contest and it's your word against someone else's, you want to come into court with the same hair every day. It just makes you look more credible.
Okay.
It is the Jim Carrey lookalike.
Yeah, that's
wait, hold on, guys. Is this the first day in court? This look right here?
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Okay, and then what's today? Bailiff, take it away.
Oh my God, yo, Cardi B's here. So I kind of speed walk, but I feel her behind me. Then I hear her talking like, oh my God, Cardi B is here. So I turn around and she had her phone. She didn't have it here no more. Now she has it here. And I asked her, yo, why are you recording me? And she clearly looked like the security. She looked like the security guard. She's uniformed down. And I'm like, why are you recording me? Are you security? And she's like, oh, my bad. But then I'm walking, and I feel her still following me. So, like, as I'm walking, speed walking, trying to look for the office, I turn around again. I'm like, why are you following me? She's like, because I can. It's like, no, you can't. Why are you following me for? Like, ain't you supposed to be security? And she's like, because I can. It's like, no, you can. And she's like getting closer and closer. Like, now she's like in front of me where I can't even like really maneuver. And I'm like, ain't you supposed to be security? Like, you grouped out, you're recording me. Now you following me. Like, back up. And she's like, I can do what I want. It's like, no, you can. Like, you can't do what you want. And that's when we started arguing.
And what did you say?
I was like, you can't do what you want. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's like you invading my privacy, and now we're like chest to chest practically. So I keep telling her like, you need to back up. And I'm thinking to myself like, this girl's big. She's big. She got big black boots on, and I'm like, damn. The hell am I gonna do now? She's literally right in my face, like on my chest, and we're arguing. And I keep telling her to back up, but she's not backing up. And we arguing, cursing at each other. I did call her the B word. I did call her a bitch. Like, bitch, get out of my face. I did say, bitch, get the fuck out of my face. You're in my face. You're screaming in my face. We're like literally screaming at each other. And she kept telling me like, you're gonna leave my building. I'm not leaving. Like, how you harassing me? I'm not leaving. Like, how you telling me to leave? I came to see a doctor. You following me. You're recording me. I'm just trying to check my cat. You're recording me. We arguing.
I've heard enough.
That's
Okay.
when.
All right,
That's
all right,
okay.
bailiff. All right,
So-
bailiff. Let's go. Let's go. 1 second, please.
Wait, was she going to a vet office because she was checking her cat? I don't know.
You know what that is, Stacey. Be quiet.
Personal
Second.
cat.
Stacey, you know what that is.
Miss P says Cardi knows she's wrong. This isn't the first time she cried victim, and she's spit in that lady's face. Yeah, that short black Kris Jenner wig she had on today makes her look guilty. Let's see. Daniel Cameron says, "See, I told you that security looked like she got booty holes and stab wounds, bullet holes,
Booty holes, bullet holes.
bullet holes and stab wounds." She's about that life. Sandra McGee said they thought Cardi B was going to settle because they caught the security guard in several lies. Death God said Cardi playing the victim is cray cray. I agree with that. Death God said invading my privacy. Vepa Par said, isn't that the cost of being a celebrity, or has that changed? Christine R says Cardi sounds like she's not telling the whole truth. I agree with you on that. Alfred sings and says, and she's pregnant. Something about that didn't add up. I doubt if another woman would get that aggressive with a celebrity when she's visibly pregnant.
No, here's the part that I think, though, Your Honor, which is interesting. If you listen to what Cardi said, right? So the security guard's arguing the spoliation of evidence argument that Attorney Weiss indicated, but she was recording Cardi. Where is that recording? My thought is that there was evidence on there that would have potentially supported Cardi's position. And if that's also disappeared and now it's just, he said, she said, I think something in the milk ain't clean for the security guard, because she could bring that out and say, hey, look, this is how it went down. How it went down is I think she was pursuing Cardi when Cardi was just trying to go to the doctor. Cardi wasn't looking to start a fight with that woman.
Yeah. I also find it interesting. Someone in the audience is spitting, assault, and battery. It's actually both in most states. It can be both. To answer that question, and also find it interesting that yes, someone would come up on a pregnant lady like that. Yes, if you are a celebrity, it's not like, okay, now you have no right to privacy. That is simply not true. Even if you're a non-celebrity, no one has the right to walk up on you and start screaming at you. That in itself is assault. Cardi could claim that she felt verbally assaulted by this woman coming up in her face. So just because you're a celebrity doesn't give like a free pass for people to run up on you, record you, be in your face, scream at you in your face. That's not a hall pass to do whatever you want.
Got it. All right, everybody. Be sure to hit that like button. The likes aren't liking. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, be sure to hit the share button and invite some folks over to enjoy this. Like one person in the chat says, smart but shady show. Don't forget to turn on your notification. As always, we love you in the chat. Next up, from touchdown celebrations to courtroom declarations, Tyreek Hill is learning divorce hits harder than any linebacker he ever played against. At least, and after less than 2 years of marriage, Keita Vaccaro filed papers that make this breakup sound more like a Super Bowl halftime show. There's big money on the line. There's also big trauma. And let's not forget the big accusations. The couple married in 2023, but by April 2025, it was a mess. We had domestic violence disputes, tons of police calls, and a custody battle that was getting quite ugly. Keita claims that Tyreek tried to silence her with a gag order and even remove their child during an altercation. A judge ordered Tyreek to pay up $500,000 lump sum, $20,000 to $50,000 monthly support, legal fees at the tune of almost $500,000, and full coverage for her Miami condo. Tyreek scores a small win with Keita's request for access to his bank accounts was denied, but the bigger game is still in play. Jason, in your neck of the woods, right down there in good old Miami, Florida is where he lives. Does this law punish wealthy spouses more harshly in the state of Florida, or is it simply about maintaining the status quo lifestyle for the child and its mother? And explain to us, please, what status quo means.
So it is the status quo, meaning wherever she was while they were married, while they were living together, and all the time that they were together, the judge ordered that at least temporarily that she needs to maintain the exact same lifestyle that she had while they were married. So what the judge did is, you also forgot, he gave her $100,000 for a car. And Tyreek Hill, you said, has to pay all of her attorney's fees. And she also gets to live in the $5.5 million condo on Miami Beach, all by herself and with their child. So this is a temporary, so that while the divorce goes through, while fighting keeps going on, that she can live the lifestyle that she lived when she was married to Tyreek Hill.
All right, let's go to you, attorney Sean Carter. Sean Carter, should judges grant gag orders in high-profile divorces to protect the children, or do they silence legitimate allegations, you think?
I have no problem with these gag orders. The only allegations, by the way, or the only place she's going to ever be able to express her First Amendment rights is the gram. And I don't know, as a grammar, I don't really need to know. If she still can talk a gag order, if you have a gag order, you still can tell the judge, he beat me. You still can tell the judge everything you need to know. So I don't need to know any of this stuff. There's no reason for me to have it. And it probably, affects the family worse. Gag everybody.
All right, let's go to one of the ladies here on the platform. Shatan Turner, let's go to you. Tell me, how does this really happen again? Like, he only was married to her for 17 months, but he has to shell out all this money. He has 9 or 10 other kids. Why did he even decide to get married?
Don't we all ask ourselves that question? But the interesting thing about temporary alimony, and this is something that I was not well acquainted with until it happened to me, is the temporary alimony is allocated based on a formula. And so if Florida is similar to Pennsylvania, you don't even go before a judge. You go to this person, they call them a hearing officer or they call them a clerk, and they have a calculator and they apply the formula that is given to them by the state. And it's just a function of income disparity. And so once you put that in, then it does provide for an amount of money for the lower earner. And the goal is twofold: to allow them to pay for the cost of their litigation and to live the lifestyle to which they were accustomed during the marriage. The problem is that the person who does the calculation, they actually can't assess how that person was living before the marriage. So it is entirely possible, and I know this firsthand, that your spouse could have been living entirely off of their own salary, getting no money from the higher earner, but because of the income disparity and the rules for temporary alimony, it just goes into this formula.
Wow.
And it is enlightening. And I am sure that man who had no problem making up kids and shooting the club up all over town is wondering, why did I put a ring on it? Why did I decide to marry her and cause myself all of these problems?
Well, Christine R. said that Thundercat tore his ass up and he woke up married one day.
That sounds about right.
She called it a Thundercat. A Thundercat tore his ass
I watched
up.
the show. I saw this. I kind of saw this coming. I mean, you always, in general, root the best, right, for people, but they took a break and he literally had a baby on her during a break, like in between their engagement. And then they decided, okay, let's just go ahead and get married. And then she gets pregnant. And then they immediately go on this show. It was just a lot happening very quickly in their relationship. And it was too much on again, off again. So I saw that something like this, unfortunately, would happen. Also, just want to clear up, the man does not have 13 kids. That was a rumor. He has 7.
Oh,
yeah, 10.
He's 10 now.
And look, he ain't called the cheetah for no reason. That's all I'm going to say.
Jason, help me understand. Jason, help me understand how you get a ruling that says $20,000 to $50,000 a month. Is that a line of credit? Like, what in the world? Why isn't there just a certain amount? Why does she get the ability to go between 20 and 50? That's double.
So we haven't seen, so family law proceedings and family law papers in the state of Florida are sealed. So unless you go to the courthouse and get it and check it out and look for yourself. So a lot of this $20,000 to $50,000 is speculation. My guess, and I haven't seen it, my guess says that there is a number in there that is set that the judge put in there. It's a judge who I went to law school with, very intelligent man, and I'm pretty positive that he would have said it's somewhere between 20 and 50, and there is an exact number in there.
Okay, gotcha. All right, let's go to the algorithms and see how you feel. Should the wealthy spouse always be forced to bankroll their ex lifestyle during divorce? Well, this is a good one. All right, algorithms, drop down in the chat. Should the wealthy spouse always be forced to bankroll their ex lifestyle during divorce? Drop yes, they signed up for it.
Well,
or
according
no,
to you, Al,
break up means break free.
according to you, Al, the answer is yes, because when it's flipped and you have these celebrity women in LA, you get on me and Shaitan about
Absolutely. No, I
men
think
living the
listen,
high life. So
I
according
believe
to you,
that's right.
it
Absolutely.
should work both. It should
But
be worked
one
both
thing
ways.
too, that it's
Absolutely. I think it should be
before-
equitable. If a woman makes a lot of money and she's the breadwinner and she makes a gazillion $1 million, she needs to pay her husband. If the man makes a lot of money, you guys already expect that. I don't think the law should be different because of gender.
But also you have to realize family law, like Jason said, I used to be a family law attorney for like very briefly because it was very traumatic. Helped a lot of people, but it was very traumatic. But like Jason says, this is each state has a calculator. So it's not as random as it appears. You're literally putting in numbers, health insurance, how many days, the mom has the kid versus the dad, how much he makes, who pays for that. And like literally it's literally like a spreadsheet. So it's truly not random. They came to that number because when they put all the numbers in on the mom side versus the dad side, that's the number that they came up with.
Yeah, let's go really quickly to LVF. LVF says, yes, you tickled the cat, you must pay. Really quickly, Sean Carter, let me ask you this question. Dang on it, what was the question? The question with her is, what about the child?
Here's what's happening now. So she's actually asking for sole custody. All right, I want sole custody because he's a fool. And by the way, it's pretty good evidence that he is. And he's saying, no, I should be able to have half custody, whatever it is. So they're fighting through that. I want to let you guys know, though, because I did the math on this. And it seems like 50 grand a month is a lot of money. And it would be if you don't make $27 million a year. When you make $27 million a year, you know what 50 grand a month is? It's 2% of his salary. If you were a man and you made $5,000 a month, 60 grand a year, you know what your payments would be under this formula? $110. He's not paying a lot. All right. He's going to probably pay a lot more when they get divorced. So if he's hurt now, he really going to be mad. This isn't, it sounds like she got all his money. She didn't get that much of it.
All right. Speaking of mad, Apollonia is mad with Prince's estate. It's been nearly 40 years since Purple Rain, but Apollonia is still fighting to control her name. She says she's been Apollonia for decades with Prince's blessing, but Prince's estate wants that trademark. Now, this is the question. Who owns Apollonia? Apollonia, the woman or the empire? Now, Apollonia claims her professional identity belongs to her and not Prince's estate. The estate argues the name was created and given by the one and only Prince, and her contracts from the 1980s may have been transferred rights. Now, the funny part is the timing is suspicious. A new Purple Rain stage musical is in development. If the estate controls the name, they could profit off of branding while Apollonia could be sidelined. Speaking of trademarks, let's go to our trademark expert, Ashley Carter. Tell us here, what does this mean? Do entertainers have an inherent right to names they perform under for decades, or does contract law override it?
So I just absolutely love this case because, I'm queen of intellectual property. I love intellectual property. This case actually highlights two things, actually. It highlights likeness and it highlights trademarks. So there's a difference between your likeness and your trademark, right? So your likeness is your image, what you look like. Yes, it could be your stage name. It could be your voice, anything that portrays who you are, right? That's your likeness. No one has the right to use that without your permission and or them paying you. Then there's the trademark, right? The trademark where if there is, again, someone's name being used for services, in this case, entertainment services, it can be registered as a trademark, as a source of services, in this case, entertainment. So what has happened is, if you sign a contract signing your rights away to your use of also being put on that trademark registration, right? With your name is also co-owner. Because again, I need to go and look if there's an actual trademark registration. They may just say Prince created it and used it first in commerce, so he's the common law owner. I don't know if he's also the registered owner. So if he's both the registered owner and the common law owner, and there's a contract that says, hey, you're allowed to, we're going to let you use it, but we truly own it. That is something she should have taken up when they registered it. The only other thing she can do now is fight to maybe cancel their registration based on the fact maybe she used it first. That may be a counter argument, or maybe they can work out a settlement that because it really is her stage name, if they make any money off the name, they're willing to give her some of the proceeds. But I have a feeling they probably just want to keep everything. But there may be some room for negotiation here, because I do think it is a bit harsh that she gets absolutely nothing from this. But this is why you should be careful when you sign your contracts as an artist.
All right, Attorney Sean Carter, this timing thing with this new Broadway musical, does that suggest bad faith by the estate?
No, it actually suggests bad faith by Apollonia. Let me explain to you how this went down. Prince comes up with a name and he says, hey, just like, by the way, everyone does this. So the WWE, they own all the wrestlers' names. If you're Hulk Hogan, you can't run out there and be Hulk Hogan. The Rock had to pay them money to go as The Rock because he's just Dwayne Johnson. They own the name. And for years, they didn't say anything to her when she was out doing concerts and county fairs and baby showers. And then, seriously, they're out there being nice to Apollonia. Go ahead and make your little pennies, girl. And then when they're going to do this play, she's the one who goes to court. And she says, no. Y'all have been being so nice to me so long that you lost your rights, latches. And now I want my name back. The name, by the way, I didn't create, because her name is, girl, your name is Patricia. You ain't no damn Apollonia. You Patricia. And by the way, not just as her given name, she was an actress and a model under Patricia. Prince made that whole thing up. And so she's saying, no. The play I ain't produced. I didn't write this movie. I didn't do nothing. I just starred in it, put my titties out for a little bit, got thrown in the lake. But now, 40 years later, I want the merch money when you do this play. Girl, they should have not taken your ass out the lake. All right, you greedy.
So her legal birth name was Patricia Apollonia Cotero. So she does have some claim to that name. But again, at the end of the day, you know, I want to see what she signed. There's going to be a piece of paper out there somewhere that she signed these rights away. She's going to have no claim, and the estate is going to have the rights to it. I'm sorry. You know, you sign the dotted line. You don't read. You don't have an attorney look. You're going to get screwed.
Well, I think, you know, to me, it's quite evident that Apollonia and Prince go together like Neapolitan ice cream, strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate, right? And she's lived a very lucrative career in performances and walkthroughs by, you know, having that association. You know, this is really tough. Let's go to you lastly, Shatan, really quickly. Should fans care who owns Apollonia's name?
So all I could think of is I'm a sex shooter. Shoot. So anyway, let me dial it back, because that's all I can think about. Fans should not care, but fans should also recognize that there's a history behind this whole name issue, and she's not the first artist who has fought for this. We all saw the Temptations movie, at least those of us on this, and remember, there's this whole fight when David Ruffin was like, it's David Ruffin and the Temptations. And then there were all these competing Temptations groups
right.
out there because Motown didn't do the paperwork that Attorney Carter and Attorney Weiss was talking about. But in this case, you know, this Apollonia was in Purple Rain in 1984. Prince had learned some things. Everybody knows Prince was a musical genius, and he was also about that business.
Business.
And so I think that she is going to have a problem. Now, the problem for the estate is, other than this musical, what value do they have in Apollonia without the woman who actually made it famous? And that goes to Attorney Ashley Carter's point about her likeness. And so what they going to do with it, right? And so I think this is getting overly complicated. It's getting heated with emotions. I think ultimately they're going to be able to agree on a settlement that makes everybody happy. But Sex Shooter was kind of my jam. So hopefully you guys weren't offended by my rendition, but you know.
I actually have a legal note. So
Okay.
just so that we are, you know, legal notes. I'm like Sunny off of The View. Legal note. I did look into it just quickly. Surprisingly, the estate has no registrations for Apollonia. But guess who does? Apollonia. Miss Patricia. She has the registered trademarks. They are now trying to register it in the trademark office and cancel all the ones that she's already received. So that makes it even interesting for Prince Estate to be like, oh, well, he created the name. Y'all should have filed the registrations. You, all these years, you allowed her to have these registrations in the trademark database. And now not only are you trying to cancel her registrations, you're trying to file them instead. So I find it interesting. She actually did what she was supposed to do. She registered them. They are trying to cancel her registrations because, again, if those registrations stand, they cannot make any money off this name and then not give it to her. And oh, by the way, until a trademark is actually canceled, you have to continue to pay that person until it's canceled or just not use it. So actually the state is in a pickle right now, not her, because she did the right thing and registered her name with the trademark.
But Attorney Carter, can't they prevent her from singing those songs at baby showers? Because Prince wrote
the music,
Right.
the music, but not the name.
Make a
But not the name.
Right. No, I get it. But I think that
Yeah, but if you can't sing the songs that your name is known for,
that's
then
true. That's
what
true.
is a
That's what I'm
It
saying. I
needs to
think
be
they both
somewhere
have
negotiated.
leverage. I think
But let
they
me
both
ask you
have
this. Let me
leverage.
ask you this question, please. This is my question. Okay, so if he created the name and then put it all over his tour, all over Collateral, years and years and years ago, and she only filed this registration, like say within the last 10 years, doesn't the fact that he created the name and put it and had her on contract with that name, and the fact that it was all over the place as Apollonia, doesn't that trump the trademark?
Well, I'm sure that's part of their cancellation argument without me looking at it, that she may have been the first to file and she has these registrations now, right?
But he was the first.
But what they're probably arguing is because in America, so in other places, it's the first to file, not the first to use. In America, it's the first to use.
Right.
But again, my point still stands. As long as she has those registrations and they're not canceled, they are going to if they're using the name, they're going to have to share it with her until they can figure it out.
Okay, so basically what you're saying though is if he still has seniority, let's just call it seniority,
right?
When
If there's proof that he used it first in commerce,
he used it first clearly, and I want to know the date that she filed it, because something tells me she probably filed it after his death. And if that's the case, she's got a tough hill to climb. All right, everybody, let's keep it moving. No, let's go to the algoriters real quick. Question for the algoriters: who should control stage names when an artist dies? The estate or the artist? This is a good question. Who should control when an artist dies? The estate or, like in this place, Apollonia? Drop down in the chat. Estate or Apollonia? Drop down in the chat. The estate or Apollonia. Speaking of stage names, Lil Nas X. He gave us Old Town Road, but now Lil Nas X is walking a very different road. The path from viral sensation to felony defended is the road he's traveling on now. After strolling Ventura Boulevard half naked and then fully naked in cowboy boots, things escalated fast. There was a police involved, a hospital, and now 4 felony charges of battery against police officers. What started as bizarre behavior quickly became serious. Prosecutors upgraded charges to 3 counts of battery with injury on police officers and 1 count on resisting. Lil Nas X pleaded not guilty. Bail was set at $75,000 with the mandatory NA meetings. His attorney calls this a what is that? ABRRATION. Is that a legal term? Pointing out he has no prior criminal record. Still, if convicted, he faces 5 years behind bars. Really quickly, let's go to you, Jason. Tell me, I guess the question here is, how much weight does a clean record carry when felony charges are on the table for something as serious, and especially in the state of California, as assaulting an officer?
So I think they're going to show that, this wasn't his norm. This isn't what he did. This is a first-time offense. That's going to go towards the sentencing, the punishment, any jail time, community service, help. He's going in, he's getting Narcotics Anonymous, he's going in for help. He's getting, things. So he's doing everything so that if the judge does find he did something wrong, which he did because he struck at least 2 police officers and made physical contact with them and struck them. So he's going to be punished. All of this is going to do to try to lower the punishment. I think we actually even have some collateral on this, Your Honor, where, it's showing, I think either right after he got out of, when he bailed out or right, right before. We do have some collateral. So I think we should check that out.
All right, let's see.
Part of this. And so this is just an aberrant episode and in an otherwise productive life. To call his life productive, I think, would be an understatement. I think it's a remarkable life.
So, Mr. Hill, do you understand and accept those conditions?
Yes. He's very remorseful for what happened, but it can happen in any family, He's going to get the help that he needs, and just keep him in your prayers, Give him the same grace and mercy that God give everyone.
Sir, what kind of help?
For the fans that love him and adore him, is his dad said, pray for him, think about him, root for him, cheer him on, and don't forget all the success that he had, and just don't judge somebody by the worst moment in their life.
All right, this is a question I want to go to. I'm going to go to you, Sean Carter, on it, but I want to read what Gen 40 said. I think Little Nas did a stunt that went bad. I don't think he's on drugs. Now, what that clip showed that we first showed when his lawyer was talking about him, she actually says that there was no instance or proof of drug use. Sean Carter, does that change anything? Because she basically said there's no proof. She said there's no proof that Little Nas was under any type of drug use. Does that change anything in this case?
Not really. Here's why. Because even if he was on drugs, the fact that you're on drugs, if you voluntarily take them, does not lessen your punishment or whatever. So if you go out on drugs and you hit somebody or beat them up, you get the same penalty as if you were sober. So it really wouldn't matter for him. I think it's interesting because you're right. We don't know that. Now I assumed at first they had come out with a positive toxicology test because his conditions for being out on bail is he got to go to 4 meetings a week. Right? By the way, that's a lot of damn meetings. All right. I don't even want to meet my wife 4 times a week. All right. That's a lot of damn meetings. All right. But that said, I understand probably why the judge does that. Because if you're the judge, you don't know one way or the other, and he looked like he'd been acting, he was high as hell. You don't want to let him out, and then tomorrow have him streaking down the street in some blue drawers, right? So you're going to make sure that somebody's watching him, somebody's making sure, right, that he's putting on colored underwear and all that. And so I kind of get that part. The thing is, and we got to be clear about this, all right? Because we hear, oh, he assaulted 3 police officers. Really? Lil Nas X beat up 3 LAPD officers. Really? Is that what we're going with? Because LAPD loves to beat you up and then say that you beat them up too. You realize that Rodney King was originally charged with beating him up before we got the video.
Right.
LAPD love to lie and tell you.
Is there video? Is there video to prove it?
this is a stunt that went too far. If he wouldn't have laid his fingers on any officer and he wouldn't have resisted arrest and he did this whole thing and they told him, go home and do your thing and blah, 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 we would have watched the publicity stunt. There would have been no jail time, no arrest, no nothing, because nothing that he did was a problem. It was when he resisted arrest, wouldn't listen to the police officers. They probably said, come here, you're coming with us. They try to cuff him. He pushed. He
I can see that.
He did something, and that's where he's gotten these counts, and that's where it went bad.
Well, by the way, but
I'm wondering why we are assuming. Are you saying that this early on, the prosecutors don't have to confirm whether there is body footage to support the 3 felony counts? They don't have to show it at this juncture. Is that what's happening? Because why can't they just show the footage of him?
They don't have to show it to us, the public, but I'm sure
but they have to show it to the judge.
Exactly, the judge.
For them to come up with the charges, there's got to be proof. You can't. Well, I know that.
We don't have videos.
And then also remember, he's not debating it. He's not saying he didn't touch them. He's not saying that he's not saying that he didn't hit them.
Well, he pled not guilty. All right, he pled not guilty to that. What's he gonna do? Yell from the jail cell? I didn't hit them, the punk asses. And the cops, please. I mean, I don't get how we forget every time we see the video when it comes out later. The cops will whooping somebody's butt. And once again, if I'm Lil Nas X attorney, I probably would just go ahead and take the probation or what they offered. But I would be tempted to say, you know what? You as an LAPD officer, I want you to go on TV and tell everybody how Lil Nas X beat up 3 of you. You punk asses. Really? Is that what we're going with? Now, Lil Nas X is beating up cops now to injure them to a felony. That's what Lil Nas X is doing, huh?
Right. And that's where it is. I mean, there's a lot that's still going to come out because again, if he resists arrest, if he squirrels away, if he pushes them, that's all considered, there's a felony.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem is.
I can see that.
By the way, I'm sorry, but I got to complain about this a little bit. The idea, if you come to me 57 years on this planet, I'm a law-abiding citizen, Harvard law grad. If you grab me and say, I'm going to take away your freedom, I'm probably going to squirm a little bit. What type of person is he? He's a rich celebrity. He's supposed to just go, oh, yeah, let's go to jail now. Yeah, he's going to squirm away. That's what his damn job is. If every free person would do that. So the idea that you get a felony count because you don't respond immediately to I want to be cackled and treated like a slave. Really? That's what he's supposed to do? He's supposed to.
I would have to say, for the case in this case, the fact that he's naked and his balls and stuff swinging around, he's trying to run from the cops. I can see him being very dramatic, especially if this is some type of stunt. I could see him being very dramatic. And the comment that he made about it ended up being very scary to him lets me know that he did not understand the extent in which this stunt was going to land him where he landed.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he 100%. Probably thought that he could probably, overreact and jerk and pull and hit. Stop it, get away from me, get off of me, because he's thinking he's doing this stunt. But the whole time that he's doing this stunt, he's sitting there getting charges. I can.
Is it criminal? Just refresh my. I'm sorry, I'm not a criminal law attorney, so somebody refresh my criminal law knowledge. Is it truly indecent exposure if you have on underwear? You're not completely naked.
So no, he got naked.
Criminal.
Yeah,
he got completely naked.
He did not get completely naked. I checked that out. That's an internet scam. That's some altered video. He didn't get completely naked.
He had on his underwear.
Right, and that is not, and that would have been fine. I mean, look, the fact when the police officers told him to stop what they were doing, to come with him, to do whatever, that's where this went bad. And I actually think we have a little bit of a video that supports what we're all talking about here.
Your girl is gonna be okay, y'all. Okay, she's gonna be all right. She's gonna be all right. Shit. That was fucking terrifying. That was terrifying. That was a terrifying last 4 days. But your girl is gonna be all right.
That doesn't answer my question. So you're telling me I have to go, if I go outside right now and I decide to walk down the street with my bra and underwear, I'm not naked, but bra and underwear, I'm required to go with law enforcement. I broke a
No,
rule.
absolutely not. But if
So
you
that's
were
what I'm saying. He didn't break a rule by walking around in his underwear. So why did he have to go with the police? That's why he was resisting. You see what I'm saying?
my gut says
Because
that
it's black, and when you're black, you do what the hell the cops tell you to do, according to some people on the panel.
I mean, I agree that that's right. I would just assume that if you're in Los Angeles and you know they're corrupted, you know, fighting back or pushing or not resisting arrest is probably not the smartest thing to do
No,
when
it's
you're
not
walking
what
down the
either.
street
But
at 4 a.m. in the
argue that
morning with your
but his
underwear
lawyer's going to
on with
argue
white
that he
boots
did not
and
have
your
to
little
go with
Nas X. I just don't think that that's smart. That's bringing.
I wouldn't do it either, but I'm not Lil Nas X. And like I said, I want the cops to, and unfortunately they'll plea it out. But I love to see the cops get on there and say, remember, he said your girl, and say, you know what, my girl, he injured 3 of us. He beat 3 of us up. Really? That's what happened, huh? That's and then I remember I told you Rodney King was originally charged with assaulting the police officers before we saw the video. They do this all the time. Every time they arrest somebody, they want to charge them with assaulting the police.
Yeah, now that I see, and that I understand. But hey,
I think Attorney Ashley Carter's point is one that we should all let resonate with us, because it's something that implicates life for us and the algoriters, which is if you are engaging in lawful behavior, albeit objectionable, right? What do you have? What's the accepted response when the police try to incarcerate you when you've broken no law? That's really the thing, because what they're saying is that he didn't go peacefully enough,
right,
to an unlawful stop. And so that's why I think that once this gets played out and once the video is shown and once he gets counsel, I think that this case is going to get a lot more interesting.
Attorneys, I'm sorry, but I don't remember it being legal to walk down a 4-lane roadway. I don't think it's legal for you to walk down the middle of a 4-lane roadway on Ventura Boulevard.
So there was a lot of things going on.
That's not illegal.
Look, jaywalking. I mean, if you really want to go for it, it's jaywalking, right? You're not allowed to do that. Look, you brought this attention to yourself. You appeared to be under the influence of something. Something wasn't right, because walking down the middle of the street at 4 a.m. in your underwear and white boots is not a normal occurrence, even in LA and even in New York.
But you don't get a 5-year felony count for jaywalking.
Understood. But they could have said, hey, come over here. We want to talk to you. I don't have to talk to you. I don't have to do whatever. Things got escalated. My gut says he was probably on something. It could have been marijuana, which is legal. It could have been, I don't know what it was. But this got completely escalated to the point where he was taken into custody. Probably shouldn't have been, right? I'm not saying that the police officers were right, but something was wrong here. And like the judge says, something in this milk ain't clean.
I just don't understand. I don't understand why we're saying it's okay for this behavior. I'm not understanding.
No one's saying that.
I would have definitely. 1 second, please stop over talking us, please. All right, I need to know what my legal beagles tell me right now. I'm just trying to figure it out so I don't find myself on the other side of the law and getting 4 felonies. Are we saying here that it's okay to walk down Ventura Boulevard, not on a median? There's no median there. It's a street. It's a 4-way street. It's not illegal to walk down the street at 4 o'clock in the morning in your underwear and boots and acting erratic.
Walking around in your underwear is not illegal. So you have to analyze. Walking around in your underwear is not illegal. Let's start there. So then you have to look at, is it illegal for him to have walked where he walked, right? Down that median, maybe imposing danger to traffic. I'm just saying, it has to be some actual rule he's violating by even walking in the middle of the street. Because again, it may not rise to the level of criminality, right? It may rise to the level of stupidity. And it's not right, but I just don't think what he did rose to the level of criminality. So what we're saying is because it didn't, he probably also knew that, and that's why he was not cooperating with the police.
Oh,
But
I
the
don't
minute
buy
you
that.
start swinging on a police officer or you pushing on it, then
I don't buy it.
that's when it escalates. If he had never been in any sort of physical thing with the police, they would have no case against him. Him walking around with the underwear, again, that's not illegal. It's when he touched.
I don't
the
buy
officers.
that. I don't buy that.
Here's where I also think the police are going to have a problem, because they seem to be trying to blend a few theories, right? The notion of him being under the influence and being in that part of the street, they're likely going to indicate that they were concerned and they thought that he was under the influence, and that's why they were stopping him and trying to talk to him. And then at some point it converts to he becomes, a perpetrator that they want to arrest. And so I really think that they thought he was weird. They didn't want him out there, and he didn't stop easily enough. That's what I think happened. And then this whole story is, I don't know if it rises to Rodney King, because Rodney was at least fully clothed, but I do think there are going to be facts that come out that suggest that the police are creating a narrative that supports their behavior, and it may not be defensible.
And I want to make clear my point. I'm not saying that he's right. I'm not saying that you don't get a jaywalking ticket. I'm saying you don't get 5 years in prison for charging in 3 hours. And think about it, their claim now is that, by the way, he's out there high and drunk. They say, get out of the street. And he charges 3 armed officers in his drawers as your girl. Really? That's what Lil Nas X is doing. He running around just fighting 3 cops at a time. Right? They claim that he charged them. I can't. I find it hard to believe. If I was there, I wouldn't believe if I saw it.
I don't know if I know for sure I do buy the fact that there was probably some type of resistance of some sorts, just because of his behavior, walking down the street at 4 o'clock in the morning. Something's off.
Right.
So I don't care. I know something's off. Now, were they scared? Did they really think that he was going to hurt them? Probably not. But I would probably say he's being used as an example, because I know in LA from living there, you simply can't touch the cops. You can't do it. You can't even talk back to the cops. They'll find some reason to take you down and charge you with something. And the other funny part about this is LA Police Department are very sensitive to celebrities. They are super sensitive to celebrities, especially after they've been booked and brought into custody. It's like someone works that beat 24 hours to find the celebrity that's getting in trouble with the law. And I really feel like they camp out. They camp out, or they have somebody on the inside. So I think maybe you guys are right. Maybe we'll find out exactly what's going on in the next couple of days, or as we see the charges probably lessen of some sort. But I definitely see why he probably was taken in. For sure.
There's another hearing next month.
I would have taken him in.
I know I would take him in too. If I didn't know who he was, all right, and I wouldn't have, all right, I would have thought he was just some crazy crackhead. All right. You made an excellent point though, Your Honor. Think about the point you made. They bring him in. They think we got crazy crackhead. He don't have no ID on him. He just got his drawers, right? They find out it's Lil Nas X, and now they realize we done messed up. And now we got to figure out a way to get out of this. You know what? He charged us. We need to charge him with a felony. By the way, we're not charging him with being on drugs. We're not charging him with being in the street, because we can't even make that stick. We're going to charge him with a felony now, because otherwise people are going to be wondering why the hell we arrested their favorite little girl. All right. And so it's almost entirely.
You are really sold on that little girl. All right, let's go to the algorithms, please. Let's go to the algorithm.
No, he's a princess in that picture. That's what he wants to be. So give him the respect he's due, Attorney Carter.
But to Attorney Carter's point, the reason.
Okay, lady. Hey, everybody, we got to keep moving. We're way over right now. Sorry. Right. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to the algorithms. Should erratic celebrity behavior in public be treated as mental health first? Or if he hits a cop, it should be treated as criminal law first? Which one? Should we think his behavior should be treated as a mental health issue first? Or because he assaulted a cop, it should be criminal first? Drop down in the chat. drop down in the chat. All right, everybody, this is a part of the show that we go back and we find if they're guilty or not guilty in the court of public opinion. First up is Cardi B. And Legal Beagles, please keep your answers short. Cardi B, is she guilty or not guilty of cussing and spitting on that lady and assaulting her? Attorney Sean Carter, what say you?
She is not guilty by reason of that lady started first.
All right, Ashley Carter.
I want to side with Cardi, but based on what the lady was saying, I could hear and see her doing those things. So I think
guilty,
sorry,
not
Cardi.
guilty? Guilty?
Guilty. Mm-hmm.
All right, Attorney Shatan Turner, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty in the court of public opinion. If you start it, I finish it.
There you go.
Jason Weiss, guilty, not guilty?
I'm scared of Cardi B, so not guilty, Cardi B, and I'm sorry.
I'm Al Reynolds, and I'm the judge here at Celebrity Court, and I'm not scared of her. Guilty. Spit on me and find out. Spit on me and find out. Spit on me and find out. I don't care what we're going through. When you spit on me, all bets are off. Guilty. Guilty is charged. Next up, we have Tariq Hill or Keita. Is Keita guilty or not guilty of taking all that man's money? Attorney Jason Weiss, what say you?
She is not guilty of taking the money. She got what she deserves because she's been hanging out with the cheetah.
All right, Attorney Sean Carter.
Yep, she is guilty of not getting enough because 2% ain't nothing.
All right, Attorney Ashley Carter.
Not guilty because the court calculator doesn't lie.
Attorney Shatan Turner, you've been in this position.
Yeah, she's guilty of being with that guy. Did you see their pictures side by side? Like, exercise and poor judgment, but she is getting paid.
All right, I'm Al, and I'm the judge at Celebrity Court. We're going to find her guilty of being smart on a come-up, baby. I've seen them come up, but this is a come-up in less than 17 months. You don't ever have to work ever again. Guilty as charged as being smart. Next up, we have Apollonia. Is she guilty? No, Prince Estate. Are they guilty or not guilty of stealing that lady's name? Attorney Sean Carter, what say you?
They are not guilty. They let her keep it for 40 years of baby showers. And as a matter of fact, by the way, Apollonia, I got a niece 2 weeks from now. So we send you $600 deposit. Come on down.
All right, Ashley Carter, is she guilty? I mean, is Prince Estate guilty or not guilty?
They're actually guilty. I have a legal note because I want to make sure your show is accurate. So they actually filed on June 20th. She filed on July 17th of this year. So they both filed this year. But here's the thing. She says that she's been using it since January of 84. They put in an intend to use application for entertainment services instead of saying that they had actually already used it. So a 1A active application is always going to trump an intend to use application. So legally, she's winning.
She got a smart lawyer, sounds like. Attorney Shatan Turner, is Prince Estate guilty or not guilty?
I never vote against Prince. They're not guilty.
Attorney Weiss, guilty, not guilty?
I think she is not guilty.
No, the estate.
The estate is guilty.
All right, I'm Al Reynolds, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court. And I'm standing with Prince. They are not guilty. They are not guilty. They created that character. They made her rich off of it. So I think they're not guilty. All right, let's close this out. Is Lil Nas guilty or not guilty of beating up those police officers? Sean Carter, tell us how you feel.
I'm done with telling you how I feel. I do feel this, though. I feel the prosecutor is trying to get their own judge show. So they're going to charge him with the 3 felonies, the Kennedy assassination, 9/11. They're going to try to charge him with everything so they can get their own show.
All right, Ashley Carter, guilty or not guilty?
He's guilty for probably pushing up on them, but I don't think he's guilty of charging them. He didn't charge them. Until I see the footage, I don't think he charged them.
All right, Attorney Shatan Turner.
I stand with Attorney Carter.
All right, so you're saying he's not guilty. All right,
Not
Attorney
guilty.
Weiss.
He is guilty of letting a stunt go too far and not seeking legal advice before he did it.
All right, I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court, and I agree with you, Attorney Weiss. He is guilty for being a stunt. What you call him? Attorney Carter? A stunt who?
It was
A
your
lady?
girl. It's not like he said it. He said your girl. But you know what? I'm a or whatever the little girl version of it. But I'm doing this. All right, with you, Attorney Turner. Right power.
Oh God, y'all got me. This is crazy. All right, everybody. Tonight we've seen it all. Cardi in the doctor's office throwing hands, or maybe we haven't seen it all. Tariq Hill, whose marriage lasted shorter than some of his touchdown runs, but could cost him millions. Apollonia is still fighting to own her name from Prince that Prince gave her. And Lil Nas X, cowboy boots, police reports, and the ultimate test of whether fame buys leniency. Here's the truth. Jury of public opinion. Fame magnifies your flaws, multiplies mistakes, and turns every private fight into public evidence. Cardi B, you found that out. But at the end of the day, the question here is, should celebrities be held to a higher standard because they influence culture? Or should they be held to the same standard because the law is supposed to be blind? That's the debate I leave with you. Drop your verdicts in the comments. Tell us who's guilty, who's a victim, and who's just too famous to fail. This is Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. I'm Al Reynolds, and court is now adjourned. Everybody, have a great night.